Alright, this is the tutorial for the Derive-A-Cape. The Derive-A-Cape isn't really designed to be purchased, it's designed to be derived from. It's designed to allow you to create your very own cape. That cape that fits your personality, your needs, your superhero, your alter ego, or whatever else have you. It is a pretty basic cape. Has a nice motion to it, automatically built in, no particular commands. So this is a pretty straightforward deriving thing. Now we're going to do, what you probably want to do first off is define the shape that you want for the cape. And in order to define the shape, what you're really going to need is the wireframe layout. What you see here, this is how the texture map attaches to the model. So what you want to do is right click and save this image onto your hard drive, which I have already done and loaded up in my favorite image browser, or favorite image editor. Alright, so here is the cape all loaded up. And I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define a new shape for the cape. Now in order to do that, you need a new opacity layer. I'm going to cut off a bit of the bottom, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a new layer almost entirely in white, leaving the bottom half cut off. We'll create a new layer behind the white layer that is filled solidly in black. So everything that is white is going to be visible, and everything that's black is going to be invisible. Well, let's go ahead and turn this opacity down a little so I can see what I'm doing. Here you get a basic idea of what the new structure is going to be. I want to add some tassels to the bottom. And I think a fun way to add tassels is to just paint in some arrows. Hey, why not? So each one of these completely solid white arrows is going to be a solid piece of the new cape. Let's turn these up. This gives you an idea of the new structure the cape's going to have. Now on top of that, you can do gray. Let's see, let's turn this down a little. Let's put a nice little window in here. How about right there? Now you can see from the video image roughly where those words are on the back of the cape. Those words are there to help direct you on where you're going to put your logo, because most superheroes have logos. Those egomaniacs always have their little logo somewhere right around about here. Now I'm going to put the little gray window, the little transparent window, right above the word, right above the words. So since white is solid and black is invisible, gives you an idea of what gray does. We'll put this layer above the white. And how about some words? How about a big letter D for dipstick? Captain Dipstick. There. Now let's see. Make that solid again. And there you go. A structure. The structure for a new cape. Get that vaguely centered. Alright. So save this as a new image. Make sure to save it as a JPEG. Nothing else is going to work. So this is going to be our new cape opacity. I'll just overwrite the ones I have here. Alright, let's see how that looks. So in order to derive this, what you're going to need to do is go over here, get the PID, the product ID number, which is part of the web page. Bring that over here, create a new product, create it by PID, and paste in there the number. Hopefully that shows up. Okay, I didn't click that right. Okay, try that again. Paste it, search for it. So you create a product, go to PID, paste the number, find it, here we go, the new Derive-A-Cape. Select that, you should see it in the window right here, and then click Derive. There's the Derive-A-Cape. So let's change out this opacity for the one we just got done making. Captain Dork. There we are. Now you see right now it is set to alpha test, so our window isn't transparent, it is just completely clear. We're going to change this over to composite, and now it's transparent. But we haven't changed out the diffused image, we've only changed out the opacity. And of course the cape has an inside and outside material, which is down here, which is completely different, although it does share the same opacity. So you can load that up there too. There we go. And we can now define the inside and outside of the shape of the cape. So let's go back over here. We need a new diffuse texture. So what would look good for that? Let's turn all these off. You see our base here. Now the first thing you're going to want to do for the diffuse texture is go back to the website. Go down here to the bottom and find the clean version of the cape without anything going on it. And save that as an image onto your computer. Load it up inside your image browser. And select all of that, copy it, and paste that into your big image file. Like that. Technically, I've already done that right here. So now you have the basic texture without any details on which to work on. But you can always turn it down so you can see the wireframe and figure out where the structure, where everything falls within the structure. As you can see, this whole area here isn't used at all. And it's kind of cone-shaped right here. See, now what I like to do right here is create a new layer and add some new color. So how about pimped out purple? I'm going to turn this into an overlay layer so then I can see the detail behind. I'm not sure what your image editor is going to do, but usually they have an overlay or something like that. Just go through the settings until you find the right one that allows you to change it. Photoshop has a few of them. Overlay is a nice solid one though, which allows you to easily bring in color to a gray image. So let's see, purple's kind of boring by itself. Let's add a little blue at the bottom maybe. Fade that in. Get really weird with it. Grab a couple of yellows. Just bring it over here for no reason. Crazy spotted cape. Ugh. Here's how it looks like without the overlay. Alright, so what you want to do is save a copy of all of this to another JPEG. Here, how about this one? We'll save that with diffused. Come back in Studio. Grab that new diffused. There we go. Captain Dork's new cape. Now as you can see, it still has the old bumps and it still has the old shines. So the old Derive-A-Cape still poking through. So go back to the page again and find a clean copy of the norm right here. Now this one right here is designed to have trim on the very outside edges. You might not want that, so you might actually want to create a whole new normal map from scratch. What you want to do is you're going to want to download a copy of GIMP. I put a link in here. It'll take you right to the GIMP page. GIMP.org. Don't download this from anywhere else. And download it by clicking on this one right here. Download GIMP directly. Unless, of course, you know how to use BitTorrent, or you really, really like the Microsoft Store. It's probably best just to use this one right here. Download it, find your install file, install it. I've already installed it. Let's go ahead and load it up. Dumb error message. There's GIMP. Now let's go ahead and open up. Where did I save that to? Well, here we are. Go ahead and open up that nice gray image with none of the detail. The base image. This is one you're going to want right there. Go to Filters, go to Generic, and go to Normal Map. This is very important. Now, you want to scale. I find the scale, ooh, don't do that. I find a scale of 12 to be good. And then I flip the Y. It should look like there is light pouring in, a blue light pouring in from the left, from the right, a red light, but both lights appear to be above. This is the angle you want. This would be upside down. Light going from here. I have the best luck with this one right here. So flip the Y, set the scale to 12, click OK, and then export as. Don't go to save as, go to export as, and save it as your new normal image. Make sure your quality setting is in the high 90s at least. Lower quality will introduce more static. The static will appear as actual bumps on the model, so make sure your quality is set pretty high. Maybe not necessarily 100, but you know, close to 99. All right, let's pop back into Studio. Find our new diffused, or our new normal map. Preview how that looks. All right. Now we're down to just replacing the shine. Shininess right here, also known as specular. It has an official name. It's not called shininess, but they call it shininess just because, well, that's what it is. It's the shininess. So let's create a new shiny. What would look good? Let's turn off this. Go back to our wireframe. We'll turn on the black. How about some dots? Now you're going to want to do this all in black and white. Everything that's white is going to be metallic, plastic, completely wet. It's going to be damp. It's going to be the shiniest of the shinies. And everything that's gray is going to be, you know, less shiny. So we're going to have some very bright dots. A polka dot cape for Captain Dork. You know, let's go ahead and make that Captain Dork logo the big D on Captain Dork. It'll be shiny too. Now I would like to get a little bit of detail in there, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to add back in the layer that has the basic detail on it. Go to the black and then fade that in there. So there will be a little bit of shiny detail for the basic cape structure, and then these really bright shiny dots. Very reflective. We'll save this as a new shine. Go into Studio, find our new shiny. Oops. Oh, I loaded that in the wrong section. I accidentally clicked that into opacity. Although you can see here, you can make a transparent cape if you want. Just make sure the inside matches the outside, or it's going to look a little odd. So let's go ahead and transform this back into that. Go into the shiny and grab that. And there we go. Captain Dork's shiny cape. Let's see, you can turn up and down the shininess. Get real crazy with it. Pump that up to 100. Something else you can go down to is to iridescence. This adds sort of a pixie-esque shine. All normal objects, though, have a little bit of iridescence. If we crank it all the way up, it gets to be a bit of an eyesore. But if you turn it off entirely, I think the object kind of lacks realism. There's just a little bit of iridescence, I think, in everything. So even if you don't want to have that pixie mylar sparkly shine, you should add just a little bit of iridescence because it'll make the object really pop. Without it, it's just not quite as vivid, not lifelike. Something else you can turn on and off are convex reflections. As you can see, when you turn them off, it's plasticky but lacks metal. By turning the convex reflections on, you get a metal reflection. It basically reflects whatever the room he's currently or she's currently in. In fact, let's go pop into another room and see how this looks there. I like this room right here because it's nice, bright, and vivid, and it's got good lighting. See, I don't know if you can see them, but with convex reflections, you're actually seeing reflections of the environment. Crank it all the way up. The thing convex reflections are is that they tend to go in places where they're not supposed to, so it just makes the whole thing look damp. But what is metallic really looks metallic. I mean, look at that. It's like chrome. You can turn that down. It's a little less annoying, and you still got a bit of that metal look. I know a lot of you are going to want to have cloth with metal trim, like gold threads and stuff. So you're going to want to mess around with this a little bit. Try to see if you can find a happy medium. There, you see this doesn't look too wet, and yet the shiny parts have a metallicness to them. Anyways, when you're done doing the back, you can also do the inside. I would suggest leaving this pretty bland. You don't have to put a lot of work into it, but you should do something that kind of matches it. And make sure that the front and back images use the same opacity. That way your tassels and edges and stuff will all line up perfectly. And it won't look weird. So anyways, that is how you make a Derive-A-Cape. When you're done doing your object, make sure to set a nice picture for it. Unfortunately, right now we're just stuck with these fixed pictures. In the future, they'll supposedly allow us to set the angle. You want to set your profit. Now, you're probably going to want to give yourself a relatively decent margin, because either people will want your cape or they won't want your cape. And it won't matter if your cape is set really cheaply, because they're not going to buy it at any price if they don't want it. And if they do want it, they'll pay a little bit for it. So give yourself a couple hundred credits. 300 or 400 at least. It's not that much profit, and it won't add that much to the overall value of the item anyways. And then type in a couple of keywords. Superhero and cape, I would suggest right off the bat. Adding a comma between each one of them. You can put up to 30 of these in there. These are search terms that will help people find your item easier. Hopefully you derived the right cape. There's a version of the cape for men and the version of the cape for women, so hopefully you got the right one. And I would either put it under accessories or tops and like as a top. Items like glove and miscellaneous don't seem to show up in searches very well. So stick to accessories or tops, or otherwise your item might not even be findable. I don't know if they'll fix that bug or not. Turn off deriving, because you don't want people deriving from you. For starters, it's kind of rude, and secondly, they're going to feel cheated when they find out that you're just making money off them for nothing. Then they'll be mad at you. But make sure it's set on searchable. You definitely want people to be able to find your new item. And probably allow third-party bundles, because, why not? Unless this object is a unique object that you're only selling to one person or make just for yourself. In which case, if it's something you want to hide, just turn off searchable and turn off third-party, and you're going to be the only person that's going to know where this object is. Give it a new name and put it up for sale. Let's see. Captain Dork Cape for men. I'm not going to list this. But this is the basics on how to use Derive-A-Cape. Please try to make your own. Experiment. Have fun with it. If you make something really cool in studio, put it online. Sell it. Make some money, man. You help me, you help you, you help IMVU. You help the end users have better choices. So, thus ends the tutorial. Good luck.